Hello everyone. Some of you may know me already, some of you may know not. My name's Strachan. Today I'm going to be giving you a little talk, a little inspirational talk, shall we say, on my lifestyle. Some may call that boring, but there is a bit of excitement in it, and a bit of snakes and ladders to play as well. Currently, I live in the area of Southend, born and bred in Rochford, in the old Rochford Hospital. And from 2016, I was put homeless on the streets through no cause of my own. And that was caused on by redundancy from work at the time and struggling to find a job. This is before my business, which we'll go into shortly. And it then caused on by leading to homelessness, going into arrears of rent at the time in the borough, and me being evicted from my old premises that I was living on. I was living on the streets of Southend-on-Sea and the Marine Parade of Southend on the streets. The struggle over the first 3 months, should we say, to 6 months, was very different. Not knowing that you have any money, not knowing that you've got any food to live on, clothes in deterioration, and you kind of end up in your own little diverse world as such, kind of a bit like a chip on your shoulder, and it's rather dark around you. Now, I wouldn't wish obviously homelessness on anyone, and for those that are living currently on the streets of our boroughs and Essex and throughout England, it is fortunate for some that can actually pull themselves up away from that, and it's unfortunate for those that can't. And it's sad to say, probably about 70% of homeless people are not successful on getting their feet back up and taking a journey of success. Now, I would like to say a small minority where I was fortunate of doing that, and there was many key elements behind how I did that, and the main reason behind that was inspiration, goals to have, and I will say this: fighting the homelessness battle the hard way. Now, the hard way is, which I'll explain, is not relying on anyone. Now, there's plenty of support bubbles for the homeless, shelters, charity services for food, to help these people through these difficult times in their lives, get through their problems. I didn't choose to go through any of that. I was relying on others, which I do not like to say, but going down the long way and the dark way of getting back on your feet, then taking the easy route in comfort, was my views. Now, I am a believer of, when it comes to getting yourself into comfort, and I do see shelter and these other elements as comfort, because we're all human. When we're happy that we're getting something, we fall into settlement of that. There is a vicious cycle of getting out of that, because you're happy to think the things ways are. And for a homeless person, where I've been myself, and many that I know that are still on the street, they're in this cycle, and they're comfortable being in that cycle. Now, that's great, but I had further dreams that I wanted to follow, even when I was working before being made redundant and being made homeless, and that was to run my own business in interests of IT. Now, the whole duration of me being homeless, which was squatting on the streets, not having a roof, living in an old cardboard box, as they say, what you see on the movies, that is reality. That does happen. And relying on other support is very difficult, even having the courage to some will call beg, some will call ask for support from others that are walking past you down the street, or outside the stations. I did all that. And we had the fortunate people that would be kind enough to contribute just to get a bit of food and fluid in my body, to keep me surviving the battle. Where on the other hand, we had some obviously that were in negativity, should we say, and unfortunate of the situation of a person like myself, that what could have I would have went through as such, to put me in that predicament, out of my control. And the insults were beyond immense at the same time. The names that I got called when living on the street, things like being called a bum. I'm not going to go into too much crude of language, but so I'd swear as racial remarks as well, believe it or not. Just so I could live like all of us as such and try and survive the world out there. Now, it came to the point of late 2016 that whilst I was feeding myself and trying to keep clothes on myself as well, I had goals that I wanted to achieve, that I've always wanted to achieve. Now, I did see that as near impossible because of the situation I was in, but I didn't let go. And it came down to the money that I was fortunately gaining from the lovely people out there, went into a form of pocket saving. I won't say bank saving because unfortunately I didn't have a bank anymore. Into pocket savings to actually get me into a position where I had, if I recall, about £170, believe it or not, to my hand. Now, I don't have no family in the area. I've got friends in the area, of course. All my family are back in the States and in Jamaica, where our heritage comes from. So I did not have a lot of people to rely on as such. But I had one person, and that is a very close friend of mine, that was also homeless in Southend, was able to take me in under his roof to give me a bit of a kickstart as such. And with that money that I was saving, that helped me with getting a decent pair of clothes. I was able to apply for jobs, obviously through at the time the job centre when it was called that and not Universal, because I was registered under that address. And luckily, as of that point, I was able to obtain a job, believe it or not, with Tesco. Now, I've got to love a good old Tesco, every little helps, as they say. It's good slogan, that one. And I was with them for about probably 7.5 months, I would say. And from that point onwards, I was able to get myself back on my feet. I was renting a new place down the high street at the bottom of Southend, opposite the Royal Shopping Centre. I was able to stabilise myself, get my own furniture, get myself back up on my feet again where I was originally before being made redundant. But I didn't want to stop there from being on the street, getting my own rented accommodation, my own furniture back again, and my own clothes back and settling down. Not at all. I still had that goal to enjoy something that I have got passion for, which is working in IT. Now, I didn't want to go find a job down an old IT support company down the road. Of course, that'd be great to fill my needs, but I had needs to set up my own business still. So in very, very early 2017, late 2016, there was a process of me working as a sole trader in London, because alongside the job of Tesco at the time. Now that continued for a number of months, just whilst the stability was there, because getting the lift off as a sole trader and being a businessman as such, or going into a limited, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a matter of weeks. It takes months to actually get your name out there. Now, I was picking up small little jobs as a private contractor, getting my name out there as just Lee Strachan. But it came to the point towards summer of 2017, I wanted to take it one step further again, and that was to register myself as an established business, which is behind me at the moment. And it was as of that point, I took the risk again, the game changer. Rather than being made redundant, I left my job, my stability as such for wages and paying my rent, clothes and food, and took the risk at that point in time with the regular income I had from the sole trader job I had, and walk away and go full time with what I was doing. Now, the first couple of months of that was a bit unstable. It was a bit rocky mountained. I was on skis going over ice, but I pulled myself out of it. And the way I pulled out of that was through the mutual contacts I had through all the private work I used to do. I was able to win over short-term to long-term customers in the city, in the suburbs of West London and North London. Then, as I became limited, and I was growing at a steady pace, probably into late 2017, 2018, under the former company name, which then I named Galactica. Its former name was Galactica IT Solutions. The philosophy behind that is, if anyone has seen Battleship Galactica, you know, back in the 80s, I used to love watching the old series when I was a little boy. Even though it's past my age, I grew up on it. It was inspired from that. And going back onto the topic of the business, Galactica IT Group formed in mid-2018 under its new name. And we were just providing an IT solution back then. And that was only me. But more fortunate, it became a family-run business as of 2019. My cousin, Paul Strachan, who runs his own business overseas in New York as an investor, pumped a large pot of investment into the business. And let's put it this way, it was the big bang, as they call it, for a company. That was it. And by that point, I had several clients in one hand that I was managing. Our name was growing alongside it as well. So as a business, going from homeless to business is a massive achievement for me. It was dark. It was tough. It was nowhere land is probably the way to put it, because once you're down there, you don't know what to do with yourself. You just go into survival mode to live. All you're worrying about is food, where you're going to sleep safely. But I overcome all that, and that all came from my strength, my goals, and my dedicated inspirational drives that I had behind me to push myself forward, and not relying dependently on charity services or sheltered services in the area, and going the hard way. Now, I wouldn't suggest anyone homeless doing that. It works for some, it doesn't work for others. Some will achieve great success out of it, like myself. Some will just end up going around that vicious cycle. Now, all I can suggest to any of those of you that know anyone that's living on the streets right now, and you are in contact with them, is to tell them never give up. If they've got goals, make them the goals, and set targets and how to. Now, if it's not possible for them to do it, there's plenty of support out there for homeless people to get them on track. Then they can start walking their track as such to get up there. But it's never to give up, no matter how hard, how difficult it is, whether it takes weeks, months, years. It will happen if you're determined to make it happen. Now, going on to the business, because I've noticed I've killed 15 minutes already. Hopefully none of you are sleeping yet. I'm going to share what our business offers, and also where I mentioned earlier, Paul, get to see what Paul looks like. He does look more professional than me on the picture, but that's his qualities in life. Lucky him. So there's obviously the article going very quickly into it on the homeless side of things. This was obviously broadcasted on the Essex Live news article service, and I think the Echo picked up on it as well, I believe. And this was all driven, believe it or not, from Facebook. I set a little status or comment or a little post on the local Southend group, if some of you are part of that, just giving a timeline of my life and how it all began, how I ended up on the street, and how I am and where I am now. And it went bang. I was quite shocked, obviously, the amount of interest it took. If I'm honest, I think it hit over 300, 400 likes and endless comments, and then that would cause the local papers to reach out to me, and obviously the XE team as well. Thankfully, thank you guys. And it was an inspirational story as such for those that are not homeless, but also for those that are homeless, because there's a lot of negative news out there, and we don't see much positivity in news nowadays. It's always politics. It's always something going on in the world, in war or something like that. You never see the positive things in life on the news anymore nowadays. But you have got a small minority of press services that still do drive the information out, and this is one for sure. Now, if you want to have a read on it, please feel welcome to. Just got to search myself via search engine Lee Strachan, Essex Southend. It'll be the first thing that pops up. It will give you a bit more insight of my life as such, and it's worth a read for sure, to share with your friends and family. So going on to the business, Group Galactica was Galactica Group, was Galactica IT Solutions, was Battleship Galactica. What else can we go with? Maybe David Bell can help me if you're with us today. We provide a complete suite of IT solutions. Now, there's a bit of twist into that, because we don't just provide our IT solutions now. We provide more of a dual solution in IT, FM, security and cyber penetration as well, from your everyday support needs with ordering and helping independent sole traders as well, and small companies. How did it all begin? We've already been in par through some of this already. The group was formed in 2016 under myself as a sole trader, under the name Galactica IT Solutions by myself, in Rochford, Essex. My inspirations behind it obviously was to provide the IT solution, but I also had inspiration to actually provide next gen equipment for healthcare, which we're going to soon. The acquisition of the business registered as a limited back in 2017, 2018, of the incorporated with my cousin, which his business is Information Tech Associates in New York. Feel welcome to give them a search. You will find them quite easily, especially if you're overseas as well. They are an investment company. They work in the technology field as well, and they are a separate business to what I run. But we're partners in par with each other for both companies. Group Galactica Limited rebranded in 2021 to incorporate FM services and healthcare consultancy. So we are putting a lot more focus in the healthcare now. We've got several healthcare clients, private, in London. One of them is obviously England wide. We're putting a massive focus in that sector at the moment, but also focusing on facilities management now as well, which will go around obviously things when it comes to estates, working, bringing technology and M&E together as such, which is near enough to impossible back in the heyday, but it's becoming a thing now. So we are expanding our rings now, even though we're a small company still, a family knit company, and we always will be, no matter what. We are expanding our wings in what we can offer through our experience and knowledge, and also our experienced teams. So it's a good opportunity to learn more about us as such, from just because of the history that sits behind us. That's up till now, where it's going, and it's going at 100 miles per hour at the moment. It's not slowing down. Yes.
Are you sharing something?
I am. Apologies.
No, we are not seeing.
You're not. Great. 2 seconds. There you go. I'm having a techie field there. Right. There we are. Can we see it now? Sorry about that, folks. Hopefully you was listening in all that. Going back into the page that we were sitting at, as such, which was here. So Group Glasgow was formed in 2021. We're now putting a lot of focus in facilities management, and healthcare consultancy now, as well as our original drives of being an IT solutions provider to businesses. Now that's from small, medium or large to sole trader on the non-business side as such. Our ambitions. So we have several qualities that we live by, and some of them are listed below as well. We're not just a family, a business. We're a family-run business at heart, and we always will be. As I said a few moments ago, we also carry our dedication and passion, and also our hearts alongside us to our clients. So we tend to build relationships with our clients like their family. It's not just business be business. It's family be family, and that's what we're recognised by, is what we deliver and how we work with them as such. We've got a good track record of growing local SMB small businesses and medium. Now we've done it with several in London where there were small family-run businesses also, and they're now booming. And that's just from our amazing knowledge base, experience and solutions. Now that comes from our consultancy avenue. We don't just come in and just point fingers and say this could be done better, that could be done better. We look at solutions, cost effective, and giving you the best experience and also the hardware and technology at the same time, and also business driven goals to actually achieve in the long run. So we've got a massive track record of doing that with our clients, and that's why we continue our strong relationship with our clients as well, and that's what makes us different from the rest. We will continue to obviously meet our targets to deliver our first innovative platform. Now, I was talking about that earlier, that's still under wraps, and we're aiming to push pilot release that in the next 6 to 12 months to one of our private healthcare clients, which are more than keen to pilot it. Now, I'm happy to go offline discussion with people on that in not so much detail, but it's going to be focusing on dementia, and also a bit away from the psychological side is cancer-related patients as well. And it's a very strong point. As we grow, our clients grow. We provide award-winning consultancy. That's one of our strongest points, as well as the IT solution. We've been recognised by multiple award services in the past, which we've got in our office, little glass trophies and all that. And we will continue to meet that target with clients and potentially any new that come forward to us to ask for help or some guidance in the world of IT as it grows at such a fast pace. Now, I mentioned Paul. There is Paul. You can see why he makes such an amazing photo compared to me. He's got that cheeky grin that always does it alone. So it's not about our service, it's about our team too. So we don't just focus on us, what we deliver and our clients. We also focus on our team. Now we've only got a small knit team of about 10 staff. In fact, we used to have 11, and they're all a big family to us. and they always will be. We treat them that way. Now, I bring obviously the compassion, the heart on the sleeve, the empathy side, where Paul is more straight down the line. He just wants the job done, which we need to have that to be able to survive as a business. So it's a good balance to have. And as Paul's obviously left a little motto there as such. So we are passionate to work with business and sole traders that have the inspiration to grow. We can make you grow too. And hashtag be success, and then grow Galactica. So obviously there's 2 hashtags there. The first one is Paul's, second one's mine. As the business grows, since me starting from rock bottom, and Paul being be your success, which he refers indirectly towards myself, where I was successful, and everyone could do it too, whether you're established or not. So our divisions, what we bring. So we, as I mentioned earlier, we were just IT support. We're not anymore. We offer consultancy, facilities management, solutions, fibre and telecoms, security and penetration testing, which is becoming very popular at the moment as cyber security becomes hot dogs, and it's getting there's more risks out there in the world to us as businesses as such. And UI and app development, which we're developing our app, which I mentioned earlier, for one as a pilot. We also develop apps, and that's quite a good driven area that we tend to put a lot of focus on as well. Finally, our accreditation and partners. It's just the not so exciting bit. We've got various partner statuses and also accreditation as well as a business. Obviously, first one, which everyone will probably know, is Microsoft. We're a gold partner status with Microsoft. What that means to others is we sell on Microsoft services at low rates, as such, away from the RRP price, and managing any Microsoft related platforms as well, because all our staff near enough are trained and certified with various courses supplied by them. We also do things like CCTV installations, which some may know the name of Hikvision, on IP based and Corax aerial camera base as well. And that can be from domestic all the way through to company base as well. We look after access control for card swiping. So we use Salto and Honeywell for them. And the others tend to be our main suppliers that we've got partner status with. Dell being probably one of our biggest ones alongside Microsoft. We've got recognition from the BCS, BAFE, construction line as well, because we do a lot of project work. The NSI, of course, and then obviously we've got our compliance with ITIL and ICO with the Information Commissioner's Office as well for data protection. We do have a lot more recognition behind us. This is just a taste of the bud. If you obviously want to look at more and learn more about me and the business, you can always visit our website for that. And I actually put this slide in today, last minute, it just blew my mind. We've just sealed a partnership with BT Local Business Northwest and also Southeast. Now, what that means, and it's for the fibre element, we have been installing fibre since more domestic with companies, but with contacts with the local business of BT, several meetings were going on with them over a series last few months, and it finally got sealed two-ish weeks ago that we will be supporting the Openreach team with certain projects as such, not all projects, we're not big enough for that, with fibre installations for new builds that are going up, new office blocks, flats. I mean, you've got these new build flats going up in the area, and that's going to be covering areas of parts of Essex and northwest London, which is a great announcement for us as a business, and we're expecting a game changer with this particular piece alone. So as a capsule, with going from start to finish, where the business sits now, and I'll finish it off with this because it's obviously approaching the 1 o'clock mark now, is I'm not finished yet. The business has not stopped yet. there's still a lot on my arm that I need to take off. I've got a tattoo on my arm that will never come off my arm. But I've also got a tattoo of all the things I want to do for my business. Jokes aside, the business has not stopped what it's gaining to achieve, and there's a lot more coming out of it. And when it comes to the dark side of my life, which I always carry in heart, I'll just look at that as an achievement of me getting out of that and achieving what I've done now, which is now a business in a 5-figure sum now, in such a short space of time over several limiteds. Thank you.